Is it up?
So we got your code up there. Everybody else see it okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't really do it like right.
No. We spent a while working on this, and we got computer versus player working fine.
Okay.
We just could not figure out how to get player versus player set up. There was some issues. We just couldn't figure it out. And if we were working in person, I feel like we could have got it. But like when we were working separated, we had really poor communication going on. It was basically just like I did a thing, then I emailed him, and then past that it would just be like us texting each other like, "Hey, what do I do here?" And then we couldn't figure it out. Like with our last one, we were able to walk to each other's screens and figure it out. With this, we just couldn't do that. So I guess just an issue from that. But yeah, unfortunately, this is all we could figure out.
Yeah, we just didn't do it.
Yeah, though. So we'll take whatever we get.
All right. Okay. So why don't you guys go ahead and why don't you show us how everything works, and then let's talk about some of the things that are struggling in there, and then
Can I just run it?
Yeah, go ahead and run it.
All right. So we just have a menu that says player versus computer.
Why don't you go ahead and go full screen on your run, will you?
Okay. And then you press 1, and then you get that. And then you select 1 for rock, 2 for paper, and 3 for scissors. If you like 3, then that's basically it. And then if you press 9, you exit.
So that's all we have for the program?
Yeah.
We'll play again, but yeah, that's all we figure out. Doing this, 2 of us with such poor communication going on and being separated, it was very taxing.
So what was so hard? Why were you guys struggling getting this done with the 2 of you?
Well, I don't know. I guess we just didn't like fully grasp like object-oriented design and like the way that like we couldn't really put it into a switch like that you could choose it without it being like a bunch of errors. We didn't know why.
So the way I set it up, so when I originally set up this player versus computer part, we had it going on to where player versus computer worked perfectly fine. Then I put up a case switch thing, so I was going to put player versus computer in case 1, then player versus player in case 2. Okay. But then when we would move stuff into the first case, it would just entirely break and it wouldn't work, and that part wouldn't work. And then we just didn't know how to do a scoreboard or how to do player versus player, like how to set it up to where you could get it working, especially with, I think it's mostly because of the way we had player versus computer set up that we just couldn't figure out how to do that.
Why didn't you guys ask me for some help?
I'm not sure. I didn't, due to like the online stuff, I didn't think we would get like a full explanation, I guess.
Well, we could have easily put you guys into a situation like this in here, or created a meeting between us, and you could have shown me some things. We could have talked about it. All right. So
we probably should have. I'm sorry about that.
So we're going to do this right now because you guys are going to fix this and turn it back in tomorrow. All right. Okay. So let's get into your code. Okay. All right. So you got RPS. That's the main program?
Yeah. Yeah.
Then you got RPS player, human player, random computer.
Yeah. All right. I'll just describe that real quick. RPS player has the rock, paper, and scissors in it. It's the choices for both the human player and the random computer player. So it has both of those choice-wise. If you hit it, it's real short. Then human player and random computer player are both their, human player doing their thing, and then random computer player doing their thing.
Okay, go back to RPS player for me, will you? And you have one method in there called play, and
and then a string play, and it goes through. And
is there code inside that method? I mean, what's it do?
It just has where it sends rock, paper, and scissors to each thing. I mean, as far as I know, so we were using. That's how I set it to be. So it just kind of displays rock, paper, and scissors as variables, or as 3 lines of code there. Past that, I don't know. I just kind of put it this way.
So you're gonna have to be a little clear with me, because I mean, I literally see a method header that says string play open and close parentheses, I don't know what you're trying to do there. I mean, is this something that you picked up somewhere else?
Yeah, I have it put over in Player. I was at a website and we were trying to figure it out, and I saw they had an RPS Player there. They had 4 things. I was like, okay. So then we went on and used some of that.
Oh, I see. Okay, I didn't even notice you made an interface. Okay, cool. All right, that I didn't even bother to pay attention. This makes more sense now. All right, so this is well beyond anything you guys are ready for. This is like second semester AP Computer Science.
All right, so confused.
So what's happening here is you're defining an interface called an RPS Player. So what that means is that, and then you're saying in there, I'm creating a variable, an array of strings called choices. And then you got rock, paper, and scissors. Rock is in position 0, paper's in position 1, and scissors is in position 2. Okay. Yeah. And then you're saying you have to define a method called play that returns a string and takes nothing in. Okay.
Right.
So then you have human player. So this is actually kind of cool, but well beyond what I was expecting you guys ever do. All right. Yeah, so then see how it says in human player, it says implements RPS player. So that means you have to make a method in here called play, which you did down on line 10. You made a method called play that automatically returned a string. So interfaces are really cool because they force you to make all your methods, all your objects in the same way, and then it allows you to. It's really cool for like dealing with like sticking them inside of arrays and stuff like that. But this is way beyond anything you guys needed to do.
Yeah, like when we did this, I saw it worked really well to do, but like. I think that's why we didn't really know how to do player versus player and such, because I didn't know what it was really, but like it worked, so I was like, okay, I'll go with it.
So this command says you're going to access the scanner that's in this object, right? Because you're implementing RPS player, so you're specifying I want to call the scanner in this object and not the one up inside of RPS player, which doesn't have one anyway. But you didn't even need this command. You could have just did flat out said int choice equals scanner.nextInt, right? And up above, you could have just said scanner equals scanner the way you did before. And honestly, you didn't need, like in that public human player one up there. Okay, I don't know if you necessarily needed to do this scanner equals scanner, but you're passing a scanner in from another program. I think you could have just flat out in here just said scanner equals scanner or equals new scanner, scanner input equals new scanner dot next, or whatever it's called, system.in. That's all right. I think that's a bit overkill on this one.
Yeah, I think we made this just needlessly too complicated.
Yeah. All right. So this guy is actually allowing you to take a choice in, and then you're returning so when they type in the choice, then it's actually going, so down on line 14, it's going out to the choices that you made in the interface, and it's returning whatever in position 1, 2, or 3. All right. Does that make sense of how that's working?
Yeah.
All right. So let's go to random computer player. All right. So again, this guy implements a RPS player. Right, you're creating a variable named random, which is of type random. Okay, and then you're generating this.random is equal to a random number. Okay.
Yep.
And then return choice. So it's kind of weird. I'm not sure why you're even passing the random number in there, but okay. And then you're just going out the choices and running that. Okay. Where are you calling these two methods from? These two objects from?
From over here.
No, you're not calling them. Where's random computer player and where's human player being called from? Where are their play programs being called at? Over in RPS?
I think they're right
here.
Should be, right? Okay. So let's see at the very top. Let's see the top of your RPS program. So you just have you imported Java.
I put play again first. The public static void main. I meant to move it, but the public static void main is right there. So.
Where's your main? Oh yeah, it's fine. It's really
right here.
Okay, that's fine. The play again does nothing more than to see if you want to play again, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just a real simple.
All right. So here's honestly what I don't see any reason why you guys couldn't have done this. You really should have. You have RPS player.job up there. Go to RPS, or actually, give me. I'm going to request control. Okay, give me control, will you, Justin?
Yeah.
All right. So up here, what I would have done is, for your purposes, I would have just defined RPS player and not made an interface. I'd have just flat out made RPS player. And inside of there, I would have made maybe a variable called name, right? Like if you want to put a name in there. And I would have maybe made another variable called computer that would either, it could be Boolean, right? And if it's computer, then it's true. If it's not, it's false. Okay. And then when you instantiate the object, I'd have made a constructor in there, one that lets you pass the name in and one that lets you choose whether it's a computer or not a computer. Okay, and then inside there, I would have made a play method that would play differently. If it's a computer, it would run out and run a random method that would randomly pick the numbers. You follow me? Yeah. And then your play method inside of here would have done everything you needed to do for playing the game, for actually like picking choices. If it's a human interface, it would assist them out and put up questions and stuff like that. You could have put your little delays in there and things like that, and it would have done that. If it was a computer interface, it would go out, and instead of asking for a system out or doing the system outs, it would have ran to the little computer program that would have generated a random number and then came back and played. Okay. Yeah, and then what I would have made is another method in there called check winner. And inside of check winner, then you would have checked, like you would be saving the value of your play values against each other. That goes and checks, like let's say one is like I would set up 0 as rock and 1 is paper and 2 is scissors, right? And if it's a 0 and a 0, it's a tie. If it's a 0 versus a 1, that'd be a rock versus a paper, right? So it would be paper wins, right? You report which player wins, player 1 or player 2. Right. You follow what I'm saying a little bit?
Yeah.
So you could have done something like that inside your player, all right? And actually actually, you guys were supposed to have a game board in there too, weren't you? Or a game?
I think so.
Oh no, let me look. I haven't.
I'm drawing a blank right now on top of my head.
Scoreboard?
I'll go check quick.
What were the classes I required of you?
You have a few minimum ones. Hold on, I'm almost there.
Game, player, and main, I think.
Okay. All right. So what I would have done then is really in player, in the play method inside of player, is it would have just made a decision. If it was a computer, it would have generated a value for you. And if it was a human, it would have generated a value for you. And it would, inside your play method, you would have done that appropriately. Okay. So back in my main, I would have, at the very beginning, I would have instantiated 3 objects up here in my main. I would have instantiated, I would have created 3 variables. I would have said player space P1 equals, or just do no equals semicolon, then player P2 semicolon. Then I would have done player, actually I would just do player P1 and player P2. And then down in the program, I would have asked them, is player 1 a human or a computer? And then if it was a human, you would ask them, what's your name? And then I would say P1 equals new player, parentheses, name, comma, false, because it's a human. And then I would say, is player 2 a human or a computer? And if they would have said a computer, then I would have said P2 equals new player, and I would have made some weird name, Roboto or something like that, comma, and then specify that it was true, that it was a computer. And then that would automatically set up your players and give you your play methods, right? So then I would go out to game, and inside a game, I would have made like a method, like inside of game, I would have created a play class that would actually go and run, like you would pass in your 2 players to the game, and then the game play method would call player 1 play method, and it would call player 2's play method, and then it would compare the 2 against each other and then respond back. Am I confusing you guys? You following with me so far, or am I going too fast? Okay. So let's let me pull up a Word document here real quick. All right, can you guys see this blank Word document right now?
I can.
Okay. So in what I would have done is made it like a player class, right? And I would have maybe set up a, you could have, first of all, you could have done something like this. You could have said int wins and losses, right? If you want to track that player. And then you would have made, these would be like in your private variables. And I would have set up a string name, to track their name. And then I would have set up a variable, Boolean is computer, something like that, okay? And so that would be in my player class. And then I would have a constructor. So I would say something like public player, actually capital P, right? Player. And then I would take in two values. I would take in a name, okay? And I would take in a, we'll just say comp like that. And that would be, this would be a string. And this would be a Boolean. Okay, so when you're constructing this thing, those two pieces are going to come into you, and you're just going to come in here at this point. You're going to come and say name equals this name, and is computer equals whatever this is, true or false. Okay. And
Right.
then I would come in and set wins to 0 and losses to 0. So you can track the wins and losses for that player. Okay. Then down inside of here, I would make a method, okay, called play, right? And play is going to return an integer. So I would do something like int play, something along that line. And then inside there, you have to check, check to see if computer, all right, and then, run random, else ask user. You follow me?
Yeah.
And then return the value that comes out of those methods. So that would be like inside the player class. You okay with that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So in reality, that's all you really need to do there. And then I would also have a method down here, called like, set win loss or something like that. Or actually we could make one called, add win, and make another one called add loss. So when the game plays, you call the add win method and it increments the wins by 1, or you call the add loss method and it increments the losses by 1. So it's tracking your wins and losses for you. And then I'd make another one called, get win, and make another one called get loss. Right? That's going to simply return back what your win and losses are. So that'll make your scoreboard easier.
Right.
You okay so far?
Yeah.
This is clear.
Makes sense?
Yeah.
All right. Now you have a game class, right? So player game. Inside the game, you're going to say we're going to do a player. We'll say P1, comma P2, right? Because there can only be 2 players in the game, and it doesn't make a difference to me what kind of player they are right now, because this program doesn't care. It just is going to call your play method for each one of the players to work appropriately, right? So then inside of here, we can make a constructor, right? So we'd say like public game, and then you would say player, we'll just do EL1, so there's no conflict or something like that, comma player EL2, right? And if you want to do that, you could even put in a scoreboard too, if you wanted to, something like that. But at this point, I don't think you guys need to go that complicated with it. And then inside of here, you would just flat out do exactly what you would say, P1 equals PL1, right? And P2 equals PL2. So that takes the players that you created earlier and passes them into this game. And PL1 is going to have whatever property it is, whether it's a computer, it's going to have its name, it's going to have its win losses, things like that. Okay.
Right.
So then you're gonna have a method, maybe called public. This could be like a void, and we could say play game. Right. And I don't need to pass any parameters in because I already got my players inside of here. Right. So then you could just go and simply say, if you wanted to, you could put up, you could run make a method that outputs the scoreboard or something. Okay, where you just go, and at that point you could just go and say P1 dot get wins, and then do a P1, or I suppose it would be P1 dot get losses, right? So you can actually go grab the wins and losses out of their class, and then do the same thing with P2. You follow me? And then you can come down and then say P1 dot play, right? So you would actually maybe come in here and say like int, choice 1 equals P1 dot play, and it goes out and it gets the choice from player 1, and it does it according to whatever tile for player 1 is. I don't care. The game doesn't care what it is because player 1 controls whether it's a computer or a human. And then you can go out and say int, choice 2 equals P2 dot play, and now I got my two choices, right? Now I can go out and do something like int winner equals, and I could say game check, and then we'll do choice 1 comma choice 2. So this is a method now. You with me so far before I get into what I'm talking about here? You guys okay up to this point?
Yeah.
My only question is for public game and public player, those two classes. If we were to incorporate this kind of thing into a current program, would we add these into current existing classes, or would we just make two new completely?
I think what I would do is I'd wipe out. You can just leave those classes alone, make two brand new classes, and then go back to your main and incorporate them. I think at this point, I don't think it's really too difficult for you to get this done. And then, so you see, we got this method. So now we got this other method called game check down here, right? So then in game check returns an integer, and that integer is going to indicate whether it's player 1 or player 2, right? So you would create something like int game check, and then you would have int C1 comma int C2, and I'm trying to leave some vague because you guys don't have a lot of time, right? And then you're going to go ahead and make a decision off of C1 and C2 and return the winner, which would be 1 or 2. You follow me?
Yeah.
So you would have like switches or if statements inside of here that check C1 versus C2 and declare if C1's the winner, you return a 1. If C2's the winner, you return a 2. And if it's a tie, you return a 0. Right? Actually, I should put a 0, 1, or 2 in there, right? And then after you've done your game check back here, you report winner and update scores, right? And that's where you would go. You would go to like let's say player 1 won, then you would say P1 dot add win and P2 dot add loss, something along that line, and that would keep track of your scores for you.
Right.
And again, same deal. We can even have you can make a scoreboard class, or you could just make a scoreboard method in here if you want. But really, to do it right, to make a scoreboard class, and then you would actually pass in player 1 and player 2 into that scoreboard class and let it actually output a really cool scoreboard for you. But you're really short on time.
Right.
You guys follow what I'm saying here?
Yeah.
All right. Now I'm recording this video, so that way I'm not going to go any further with it. I think you guys can build something and finish the job for me, okay? And get this done for me tomorrow. And then what I want you to do, and if you want, we can even set up a meeting and you can demo it for me, or you can just simply record the two of you demoing the program and the code for it and send me that, and I will look at that for your evaluating your grade. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Questions?
No.
Michael and Russell, you got any feedback or input on this?
No, I think you covered it pretty well.
Thanks, Michael. Russell, I'm sure you got a lot to say, don't you?
A lot.
Not a lot?
He's got a review. Three-page review of their entire code.
Wow.
Not really.
All right. So you guys are going to get that taken care of for me tomorrow, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And let me know if you're having problems. You need to reach out to me right away when you're having struggles, and I'll pop in. We can do a meeting or something like that, or I can coach you through some stuff through some emails, okay?
Okay.
All right. Michael and Russell, whoever's got the screen, why don't you go ahead and share your screen?
Yeah, I will do this one. Yeah. All right. You can see it here.
All right. So I see some code there.
Yeah, this is the wrong code.
Cool. So that makes it more fun to critique.
Well, it's the right code. It's just it's not the right code. Where is my?
It's the wrong programmer.
Yeah. No, that's not the button I wanted to press. Yes, and then, where is it? Close unrelated. Save selected. All right. So, as a forewarning, this code is a mess. So
a lot like Russell.
Yeah, I think it's worse than Russell actually.
That's good.
Come on, Russell, you gotta have a better comeback than that, man.
No, he's used to
it. I thought you were used to getting picked on.
Yeah. All right. It's got a loading screen, and then it comes into a menu. Menu is just the standard stuff. How many times would you like to play? I'd play 3 rounds. You choose the computer's difficulty. 1 is random. 2 is if it makes a choice that would tie the game, it'll re-roll its choices. And 3 is it's straight up cheating. You'll never win because whatever you choose, it's always going to beat you. It's always going to choose the winning item against them. So,
I like option 2. That's kind of cool.
Rock, and then scissors. So, scoreboard's 3 wins, 3 losses. The scoreboard is not persistent, just because it would have been really difficult to do that, considering in the game class it only initialized 2 players, and the scores I think were past. What did I keep the scores? I don't think I had scores for the player. No, I kept the wins and losses within the player. So it was it would have been really difficult to have a persistent scoreboard. Let's see, second choice, which is going to be how many rounds would you like to play? It's player v player, so this is going to be like another 3 rounds. Player 1 can make a choice, and then it clears the screen by just filling it with a bunch of space. So you can't really like easily cheat unless you're like very blatantly going all the way up and checking.
Which you would do.
Yeah, I would do that, yeah. And then another choice, and then they can just do that over and over because they love pressing buttons. And then it makes another scoreboard, declares the winner, and the scoreboard again is not persistent. For computer v computer mode, this was pretty simple. You just tell the computer how many rounds you'd like it to play, and it will just go through in like 2 seconds and do that. They can tie, and that doesn't change their scores. So we got 2 wins, 2 ties, and non-persistent scoreboard. And then you've got option 4, where you are going to be told what your what the computer's choice is, I believe. Oh, did I do it wrong? Is it not? I probably did something here. Alright. Well, that mode doesn't work. I'll have to check that. But other than that,
so it's supposed to reveal the choice of the computer. Is that what it does? You said?
Yeah. Here, let me check that. That shouldn't be. Did I? Oh, I probably. This is cheating. Did it initialize with this sheet? This is section 4. Now play true. Okay, play setting. Alright. That's weird. Anyway. This is pretty boring. Did I? Did I do this wrong? I did, didn't I? I just stuck this in here. Personal change and then get. That's what I did. That's what I did. So this is the code for if the person's cheating, I believe. Person PC num. So person dot get cheat state. Replay.
All right, so let's make sure they understand that. So you guys see where it says if person dot get cheat state right there. So obviously get cheat state is going to report a true or false value, right? So
yeah,
this
I figured out what I did.
I know, but I want everybody else to understand what you're doing. Hold on a second. So so on line 46 it says if person dot get cheat state, right? So in an if statement, if you don't check to see if it's true or false or anything like that, that means that that method has to be returning true or false.
Yeah,
so
it returns
what
Boolean.
is indicated here is that his person is in a cheat state is true here, and then that's what's going to run these commands down there. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys.
So it starts out when it's initialized, it gets Boolean is cheat when I initialize the play.
Yeah.
And then if is cheat, it'll make the person, which I've renamed up here, the first and the second player just P1 and P2, but they're renamed computer and person in the beginning. So it'll do person dot change cheat state true. So it'll make it so it's cheating. And then once you go down to the if down here, where it's person dot get cheat state, since that's going to be true, that's going to return a true. So if true, then execute this, which is meant to do the make the PC's choice for it. It'll do the random number generator, set that, and if it's this, it'll do that. What I didn't have was it wasn't sysouting that that choice.
Okay.
So it wasn't going to tell you what the computer's choice was, which was kind of dumb on my part. But yeah, if we go down here to where it would normally do it, close that. To to where it would normally do it if computer.get computer difficulty 2. All right. So down here is where it would normally make a choice. And this is just a random choice. Random number generator, difficulty is 1, difficulty is difficulty 2. But the key thing here is preventing it from making another choice that would be different to this one. So to do that, I just did a PC play equals 0 because that's what it's initialized at. PC play is initialized here with a 0. I should have, yeah. So that PC play is initialized as this, and then this just checks to make sure it's still that, and that it hasn't changed to 1, 2, or 3, or RP or S. And it does that for each of them, for the difficulty 3, 1, and 2.
So, real quick, this is a question out there, everybody else. So on this cheating thing, this human cheating thing, so Michael has it where it's supposed to report what the other guy picks, so then you can pick the winning one. What would be a different way to make a human cheat? Does anybody got a different idea? But it would be very little code change to him. No ideas?
I don't know.
So
to make you
I
be
have
able
no
to.
clue.
yeah, if the human's a cheater, so the way he wants it is if you're a cheater, it's going to tell you what the computer is put, so then you put a different one and win, right? But what is another way that we could do a cheat as a human? Instead of it reporting what the computer gave us, what could we do?
Set it to where it auto picks your number to be opposite of theirs.
Other way, closer, because you want to let the human pick what they want to pick, right? So if I pick rock, how do I guarantee a win?
They're always scissors.
Yeah. So another possibility on a cheat state version, like the cheating version with the human cheating, would be if I pick a rock, it auto picks the computer at a scissors. If I pick a paper, it auto picks the computer as a rock. Follow what I'm saying? So that'd be another way to go about doing it instead of reporting to you what the computer picks, so you can pick. Where, like, if you want to do a cheat state where it's an auto guaranteed win, because at least in this version that Michael's doing, it is a cheat, but you could still be a bonehead, pick the wrong thing. I'm just throwing out another option out there on the cheating. So, you guys all understand that?
Yeah.
I think that would actually be kind of easy to do too. I think he could modify his code pretty quick and do it if he wanted to. All right. So why don't you, Michael? Let's put your game in full screen again, will you? All right. So go ahead and do player versus computer for us. All right. Just do 3 rounds. All right. Go ahead and play. Just say everybody difficulty to 1, I guess. All right. Go for it. Play it. All right. Okay. So at this point right now, guys, any feedback on this piece? What do you think of the look? What do you guys feel about all this?
I guess I'll go first. I think the amount of options that they have is good, and I think them having I think like the way it's laid out or how it's played is pretty good. My only criticism is it's once you get a lot of stuff in there, like a lot of rounds going, it gets kind of jumbled. But other than that, I don't see anything wrong.
Okay. What else? Anybody else got anything?
I think it's perfect.
Of course you do, Russell.
Yeah.
I don't
know. In my unbiased opinion, I think it looks pretty good.
Yeah, very unbiased. All right, Justin, give us a biased opinion then.
Yeah, I think it's fine. Like, I don't see anything wrong with it.
All right, I'll throw some thoughts out here. Right, like you said, when you play, so Michael, kill the program, run it again for me, and then choose option 1. I think that looks good. I like the loading screen. I like your little image up there. All right, you choose option 1. How many rounds do you like to play? So far, so good. All right, so then you put in your difficulty. Then it pops in down there. I think I would have liked maybe a little bit more spacing, but it's okay. All right, so now go ahead and choose what you're going to play. I think you need a little delay there. All right, and then all you say is you win. Does it ever tell us what the computer picked?
No.
No, I think I would have thrown a slight delay out there, or even let the computer throw what the computer threw, put a slight delay and then report, the win. And even a little even better touch, like you picked rock and the computer must have picked scissors. You can even report on the screen, rock beats scissors, or something like that. You could have done something like that to add a little bit more to it. Okay. All right, let's go back to playing it again, will you? So I think a little bit more delay on that would have been good. I like the modes and stuff you got. All right, so do player versus player. All right, just do 3 is fine. All right, go ahead and put in your choice. All right, I think that's good. I like what you did there. Anybody else got any feedback on that?
No, looks good.
Looks nice, yeah.
So I've seen a lot of people do this where they scroll like you did, but I've never seen anybody do it where they've scrolled, like you and Russell did with the little slashes in there. I think that's a good effect. Oftentimes it's just a big blank space and it says, what is player 2 choice? So it's very clear that this is still connected to something above. I think that's kind of cool. All right, go ahead and put in your choice. All right, player 1 chose P. Good. I'm glad you re-echoed it back. Player 2 chose S, and then player 2 wins. And again, I think you could have added something in there, scissors beats paper or something like that if you wanted to, or you could even put in an image of a scissors in a paper or something like that. But I think it's still good. All right, go ahead and go back and start from the beginning. Oh, does it report a scoreboard at the end of that or not?
Yeah, it will.
Okay, why don't you go ahead and do player versus computer and do 3 rounds. But I want to see your scoreboard again. And I would highly recommend at this point, especially with as complex as your code is, take everything in as a string and learn to parse it for the numbers out of it and report errors back. All right, so yeah, the scoreboard. What do you guys think of the scoreboard?
Good. I don't see anything wrong. I think the computer won better luck next time. I think it could have been spaced a bit better. Other than that, it's fine.
So my question to you, and I think you answered it before, if we play player versus computer again, you said it does wipe out these scores?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it would wipe out the scores only if you did player versus player. Okay. So maybe if you would have developed 3 objects, player 1, player 2, and computer 1, or actually 4 objects, player 1, player 2, computer 1, computer 2, or something like that, you could have maintained your scoreboard.
I was messing with the program before we started. Where is it? No, now I need to open things. I need to, where's the window? Perspective, no, show view. It is Package Explorer. I was messing with another RPS game idea where in the game class it would initialize a few extra players so you could keep a persistent scoreboard. So it would keep the score for each of them. So like this would keep a score, this would keep a score, this would keep a score. And then there was some other extra stuff in here. So I mean that's one way of doing it. I was also thinking of
Good.
I was also thinking of a way you could do it where it just stored the score for each mode in an array and just passed that array around.
Okay, yeah, that would have been good. All right, so one possibility you could have done was defined, like I said, you could have defined one called player 1, player 2, computer 1, computer 2, and then you could have put, how like when you play like Mario Kart, it lets you pick what kind of player you want to be or something like that.
Yeah.
You could have defined a series of them out there, and you could have said, all right, if you want to do player versus player, you could say pick which player you want to be, and you could be, the rocket scientist, and player 2 can be like, I'm picking the Albert Einstein, whatever. Or if you're playing player versus computer, you could say, I'm going to pick the rocket scientist, and when you pick, then you get to pick the computer player you're playing against. And then you could have tracked like all their scores that way if you would have made them along that way. You didn't have to be like PV P1, PV P2. You could have just did player 1, player 2, or or maybe like player human 1, player human 2, player human 3, player computer 1, player computer 2, player computer 3, and just had all those, and then just pull those into the game as you need them after you've instantiated them, and they track their own scores.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. All right. Go back to your game. Play it again real fast.
That was the wrong one. Wait, no, it wasn't. That's right. All right.
All right. Go full screen. All right. Let's see. Russell, tell me something about this game. What would you do differently on this game, or what do you like? What would you change if you had more time?
Didn't really think about that yet, but
What features are you proud of, Russell?
I mean, I did most of the player versus computer, so I'm proud of that, I guess, because I did it.
Okay. Cool. Was it hard?
It took me a lot longer than I thought it would take me.
Sure.
But yeah.
So what about player versus computer did you like? That just the fact that you were able to accomplish it, or was there
pretty much that's it. Just that I was able to finish it.
All right.
I mean, I did need help with it, but I don't think it was too much that I needed help with. But
now, let's see who created the piece on the cheating mode for the computer, like level 1, 2, and 3.
I did. I got
You
that.
created that part. All right. So then go into your player versus computer play mode real quick. I want to see I want to see the code on it. I mean, do any of you guys got to bail out right now?
No. I'm good.
Okay.
All right. So let's see. Starting here. All right. Most of the code for the player cheating is in here.
Okay.
Here and.
Okay. Go to the beginning of the player versus computer. I want to see the beginning of that method that runs this. All right, so you just have play. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're checking. So Russell, you want to explain kind of real quick what's going on here?
The screen's like frozen, like on the. Can I like leave and rejoin? Because it's been frozen for like forever now.
Oh, sure, go for it.
He's gone. He's gone. Quick, make fun of him.
It's more fun to do it when he's around. We are recording it, so you can always watch this later. Let's see, Justin or no, any questions from you guys right now?
No.
No. So you said that we can either schedule a meeting for tomorrow or send you a video of us going through it.
Yeah.
All right. I guess
So, like,
we
if
got talking.
If
We're
you want
probably
to
gonna
do,
record a video.
you're gonna record a video.
That's all right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. So like, you just get in. If you want to do it via Zoom or via Google Meet or whatever or something, or you could even do it in Teams if you wanted to and record it. And then what I would do is just publish that out as an unlisted like YouTube video and then share me the link to that. Okay.
I can see it now.
All right, Russell. Let's see. Explain what's going on here in the player versus computer, man.
Where does it start?
Starts right here. From there down. Oh, I should probably explain what I did for the deciding like what state it would be in is it just got what the player state was, so whether it was a computer or a player, and it just if there's one person a player, one person a computer, and it's computer versus player. If it's both players and player versus player, and it just did that with the if structure that surrounded the whole thing.
What's the carrot? What's the carrot in there?
The carrot is exclusive or.
Wow, that's something new to me, man. I didn't know we had an exclusive or in here. Sweet. All right, go for it. Go ahead, Russell.
So line 19 and 20 is saying like well, 19 is saying that P1 is a computer and P2 is the like actual person playing. And I didn't do all of this, but I don't think. So like down to 50. What?
What line?
It's like frozen again. Now I can't see it. What?
Poor Russell.
I could just probably.
I think it's a cop out, Russell. You're just gonna say that's what's going on, right?
What do you mean?
No, I'm just saying because you don't feel like talking about it. Oh, my screen's frozen. Can't do it.
I mean, I can send a picture of it to like Noah, and then
That's
like
all right.
it's actually frozen. All I see is a circle. With
Do you have the
like
code
PL.
do you have the code on your computer?
Not all of it, because Michael added more to it after I sent it to him. But I think we have it on what's this program called? Atom or whatever.
Oh yeah. Here, I'll just share it with you. So I do have a thing that's a text editor that basically lets you both work on one thing. Here, I'll share the entire screen. Screen one. All right, sharing the entire thing. So this is Atom. It basically lets you just like share everything.
Can you give me like the portal?
Yeah, I'm loading up right now. It's taking a while because it's sad. No, stop that. And then there, where is the? All right.
So where'd you pick up Adam from?
Actually, that was the thing that pros use. When they first released pros, it was based on Atom.
Okay.
Because Atom is like a really open thing. Here,
Sure.
wait, is there a chat in?
You can just send it to me in Discord.
Yeah, but there's a chat in Teams.
There is.
Yeah, it's over on the side. Yeah, just hit the little.
Oh yeah, I
There.
can't see that. I'm not a member.
What do you mean you're not a member, Russell?
Yeah,
Russell,
why?
how did you break it this bad, Russell?
Russell,
All
what do you
right.
think he's
I gotta
calling?
start up Discord just so Russell can see this.
You can't see the meeting chat over there, Russell, even
Nope.
being a guest.
I can't
Alright.
see any of that.
Why are you a guest anyway?
I don't know.
How are you getting into Teams?
I don't know how this works.
All right, Russell, guess what? Congratulations. You're now an attendee. You should be able to see that.
Still says it's only available to members.
Oh, Russell, you jeez.
Russell, how would you open the thing to get in here?
I just clicked on the link.
Are you
Russell?
logged in? Like, how are you logged into it? Do you go into? Are you logging in on the? Are you going through the web or are you going through an app?
Through the website.
Okay. The rest of you guys, are you guys running the Teams app or are you guys running the web?
I'm on the website.
I'm running the app.
I think the app works a lot easier. So you're logging in, when you're logging in through the website, what email address are you logging in as, Russell?
The school one.
Are you sure you didn't log it in as somebody else at one
Yep.
point and it's going up an old one?
Like I'm on Office 365 or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm on my school email.
Sure, Russell.
Yeah, so like
Okay.
you're
There we go.
you know what? I bet it's because you never so like it said that you've never responded to this meeting request. And that's why you were thrown in as a guest. Everybody else
All right,
accepted
Russell.
the meeting. I wonder if that's part of the reason.
Get Discord open.
Okay, I see it.
All right. So you should be able to get into the game class pretty easily.
Yep, I see it.
You're in there?
Yep.
He's in the game class.
Okay, so I'll just
All
like
right.
restart. So line 1920 is saying that the computer is P1 and the person is P2. And 22 through 52. I didn't do that. That's what Michael did. And then 54, it's just saying like choose an item, like rock is R, paper is P, scissors is S. And then 58 is just scanning to see what you said. And then 62 through 64, I didn't do that. Or 66 through 70. 72, actually. Okay, so once it gets to 89, that's how it says if you tied or if you won. And that's where you wanted me to add something where it says like the computer picked scissors, you picked rock, something like that. But instead I didn't do that. I just said you win, you lose. And then under that, that's how the scoreboard works. And it says if you won or lost to the scoreboard. And that's that. I think that's pretty much it for the player versus computer.
Cool. All right. All right. Any last questions from anyone?
No.
No?
I don't got any.
All right. We're essentially going to wrap up now then. So other than